Mhm.
All right. Welcome. My name is Teresa Francis, and I'm the Director of Learning and Professional Practice with the Nova Scotia Career Development Association.
I am Lisa Strong, and I am the Career Services Specialist here with the NSCDA.
And I'm Darlene Porter, and I'm a narrative practitioner and a career counselor, and have been fortunate to be part of the NSCDA team tasked with the development and now the delivery of Empowered the Portfolio Career. And I'm going to set the stage here for us today by sharing a brief parable that I often share with learners. A man found an eagle's egg and put it in a nest of a barnyard hen. The eaglet hatched with the brood of chicks and grew up with them. All his life, the eagle did what the barnyard chicks did, thinking he was a barnyard chicken. He scratched the earth for worms and insects. He clucked and cackled, and he would thrash his wings and fly a few feet into the air. Years passed, and the eagle grew old. One day he saw a magnificent bird above him in the cloudless sky. It glided gracefully among the powerful wind currents with scarcely a beat of his strong wings. The old eagle looked up in awe. "Who's that?" he asked. "That's the eagle, king of the birds," said his neighbor. "He belongs to the sky. We belong to the earth. We're chickens." So the eagle lived and died a chicken, for that's what he thought he was. And that's from a favorite book of mine called Aware. The author is Anthony DeMello. And I will start by saying that there's nothing inherently wrong with living out your life as a chicken if you actually are a chicken. The thing is, for most of us, we are not actually optimally aware of who we are, what we know, what we can do, and how exactly it is that we want to live out our lives. So a narrative practitioner might say, we live our lives, and sometimes our lives live us. So I've been involved with portfolio work now for more than 25 years. And I was well into my own portfolio career when I was introduced to narrative career practices. And I just got immediately very excited about the idea of exploring the intersections between portfolio and narrative practices. And so with the development of Empowered, the portfolio career, was able to be more intentional about weaving those narrative principles into the program. And so now I get to facilitate the program and be part of working with others as they move towards their preferred future. So Empowered the Portfolio Career adds the lenses of trauma-informed and narrative approaches in guiding individuals through a structured, reflective, and skill-building process. So it's a 7-week program, or 7-session program, sorry, and a huge focus on building the portfolio mindset, supporting individuals to identify, improve knowledge, skills, and competencies in selected areas of their lives. And so the outcome, of course, then individuals who recognize more of what they know and can do and are better prepared to adapt, engage, and transition with confidence and intention. And just another stressing of the idea of the trauma-informed lens, because we certainly do require that people lean into some vulnerability in this program. And so it's really important that we approach the program through that trauma-informed lens, and one that prioritizes the safety and creates trust and allows for choice, a real respectful way of engaging with learners. And so the first of all, just to stress that there is, of course, both the process and the product. So there's a huge focus on developing the portfolio mindset, but there's always the consideration of the portfolio product that fits the individual's needs as well. And so it is a guided and structured process. It relies heavily on carefully created and sequenced activities and conversations that provide the scaffolding towards deeper and broader self-awareness. And of course, as part of any portfolio project, there's a focus as well on evidence. So it's not enough to say that we can do something. We also have to support people in collecting and creating the evidence that will ultimately be part of their portfolio. Of course, reflection, when we say reflection is so much a part of this process, and it really is just reinforced and stressed throughout every step of the experience. And the product then is the actual tangible portfolio, the concrete portfolio, and it is very much a portfolio of the individual's choice. So, we'll talk a little bit when Lisa comes on about the focus now on e-portfolio. And so I'm going to turn it over now at this point to Teresa Francis.
Thank you. We thought we would show you one of the adaptations that we've made in this version of the portfolio program. We have an exercise that's called the Life Roles exercise, and it replaces the chronological record and adds a new dimension. From a trauma-informed perspective, this exercise adds that element of choice. So the client or the learner can choose where they are focusing on reflecting in their lives, rather than being asked to look back at their full life. And we found this to be a subtle yet important shift. So participants, you'll see a tree there. Participants identify key roles in their lives, mostly present, but could also be past. And then they map them as the branches of a tree. And then the facilitator helps them delve. You can scroll down one more, Lisa, to the branches of the tree, or scroll across to the branches of the tree. So the first step in the process looks like this. And then we guide participants to dig a little bit deeper and look at the responsibilities, the tasks of each of those roles, and later even drilling down to skills and competencies for each role. This really starts the ball rolling on the "who am I" question for participants, as well as on what I know and can do. We also thought it might be helpful for you to see the outline of the 7-week program, and I won't go through each week in the interest of time, but a quick summary. Session 1, as you've already seen, the process of self-assessment begins. In session 2, that work continues, exploring learning across multiple contexts. Session 3 moves to naming skills, knowledge, and competencies, and continues with the work of demonstrating learning and evidence gathering. In session 4, we introduce learning narratives, and we help learners expand upon their stories so that they have richer and thicker learning stories. In 5, we switch from that reflective, that broad, deep reflective, to looking at the future and looking at goal setting. In session 6, and yeah, the weeks do fly by like this, it's all pulled together: learning, evidence, intentions, preferred future, in a portfolio container of the individual's choosing. And we have very open boundaries around what that looks like. In session 7, this is everybody's favorite part. The learners share their portfolios and their experiences, and we celebrate. So far we've been training facilitators, and what's really interesting is what we've seen for their portfolio. We've had PowerPoint presentations, we've had courses like this, we've had digital portfolios to be shared via LinkedIn, and some people still prefer to do that hard copy portfolio. So it really is all about what the individual's needs and goals are, what they want to do with it and where they're going with it. We've also developed a shorter 4-session program that we call the Portfolio Mindset. And this actually got developed quite by happenstance. Lisa and I wanted to deliver the portfolio program to our staff, but we didn't have enough time to do the full 7 weeks. So we derived this shorter 4-week program that focuses on some of those foundational concepts related to RPL. And it was a lot of fun. Our staff loved it. It was a really good team building exercise, and we learned a lot about each other. So now I will turn things over to Lisa, and she's going to bring us home.
Thanks, Teresa. So, like a blooming tree in the spring, my experience in the Empowered program started as a participant, where it sparked growth, confidence, and a new direction in my career journey. I began as that nervous participant, just exploring portfolios, prior learning, and learning about RPL. So through the program, I reflected on my experiences, I developed a portfolio mindset, and I recognized my strengths and gained a deeper understanding of what I know and can do. And now I have the great privilege of co-facilitating the program alongside Darlene, where we support new participants as they discover their own growth and potential. So during the Empowered program, I had the opportunity to reflect on my life roles and better understand how they shaped me both personally and professionally. And one way I connected my prior learning to my life experiences was through my role as a caregiver. So when I became a facilitator alongside Darlene, sharing my caregiving example was important because it demonstrated RPL in action. So caregiving is often unpaid and overlooked, but yet it helps people develop valuable skills and knowledge that can transfer to careers in healthcare, community support, case management, and many other fields. So below here is an overview of my caregiving example. And this is my own personal example, and obviously the skills gained in this role may look very different for different people. But just some of the things, and when you do that tree exercise, as Teresa explained, you really get to see all of the many roles and the tasks and responsibilities that do come with that. And one way that we do start the Empowered program is with a quote called "You are the path." And that's what we started off with. And we do have a few quotes here on the path from past participants of the Empowered program that we thought we would share with you quickly today. So Jesse F. said, "Empowered helped me reframe my career path. Instead of feeling like I needed to fit into one role, I learned how a portfolio career lets me build meaningful work around my strengths, my interests, and my personal life." Jesse C. said, "Thanks so much for the inspiring program. Being in a room of thoughtful, dedicated, and collaborative learners, being in a room of facilitators and counselors, it was an honor. I will continue to deepen my practice of portfolio mindset and hosting conversations and harvesting learning, and I will keep writing. I'm grateful to this program for igniting me." Katie said, "The Empowered portfolio career training showed me that learning happens everywhere, from school to work to personal projects. I'm now much better equipped to help the people I support to recognize these experiences and turn their achievements into meaningful career-ready stories." And Dana said, "Empowered encouraged me to reflect on my experiences, recognize my strengths, and build confidence in my abilities. And it has already made a meaningful difference in how I approach both my career and my personal life." And in saying that, that's the end of our presentation. We'd like to thank you. We left with a little chicken and egg photo that we thought went very well with Darlene's opening of the presentation. And so we'll open it up to any questions or comments.
That's great. Thank you very much. I think I feel more like the chicken. So are there any questions from the group? Anybody? Maybe
we covered it so well that everybody's got it all. Either that or it's late in the day.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Oh, we've got another couple of hours. Come on. So I'm wondering if you can talk more about sort of off ramps or pathways beyond the portfolio. Can you just sort of talk about how this helps people with sort of opening up new opportunities? A little more about that.
Sure. I'll take that one. But the way that we've structured it is for people to be able to pursue whatever path they need to or want to. So one pathway might be a move to employment or a transition within employment. So they might be looking to transition from something to something else. They might be unemployed, and that might be the employment pathway. I think it's important to note that this particular process doesn't in itself prepare you to apply for formal recognition, but it leads you, if that's the direction that you choose to go in, or if that's what's revealed to you, then it prepares you to do that. And one example of that is one of our participants. She through going through this process realized that she actually had the skills and knowledge to go through a the certification as a career development practitioner process, and she didn't have that confidence before. So she then went through the formal assessment and is now a CCDP. So it helps to empower people to actually make those jumps. I think another option is, you know, somebody might decide they want to continue their education, or they might want to do something completely different from any of those three pathways. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. It's basically take a course on yourself, right? Yeah, that's interesting.
Absolutely. And
are there, go ahead.
Well, I think I just want to say that what we've found, and you know, we've been working in the portfolio business for a long time, is that very often people they don't have the confidence, the self-awareness and the confidence to be able to pursue, say, formal recognition. So it's like that step before going into that next pathway.
Okay.
And preparing them for that.
Normally I'd be peppering you with even more questions, but I'm on stage in the next slot for 5 minutes, so I have to go back to the main room. I didn't do this very well today, so I'll just take the opportunity to thank you very much for this, and thank you for joining us and helping round out the day's proceedings. You folks have been doing wonderful work in Nova Scotia over the decades, and you're definitely a beacon. A lighthouse, as it were.
And will the course, like we intended that the course would be available, all of that will be available for people afterwards?
Sure. So if the link is not in the deck itself, please provide me like a separate document. I can just paste it into that program detail thing and have the link there.
I think it's already there.
Yeah, it's already in there.
Perfect. Okay, good stuff.
Okay.